He knew. He always knew. Every single week while the WWE Universe ran itself ragged trying to identify the mystery man, while superstars looked over their shoulders, while theories exploded across every wrestling forum and comment section and group chat, Roman Reigns was sitting somewhere quietly, watching all of it, knowing every single answer because he wrote every single question. Roman Reigns did not discover Zilla Fatu. Roman Reigns created the situation. Roman Reigns handpicked him, deployed him, directed him, and then stood back and watched the chaos unfold with the calm satisfaction of a man whose plan is executing exactly as designed. And now that the moment has arrived that serves Roman's purpose, now that the board is positioned exactly where the tribal chief needs it to be, he is not hiding from it. He is not denying it. He is not offering explanations or justifications or carefully worded statements designed to create plausible deniability. He is confessing, proudly, deliberately, with that specific Roman Reigns energy that communicates not guilt but dominance. Not remorse but revelation. Not an ending but an announcement. Roman Reigns sent Zilla Fatu. And he wants every single person on that roster, in that arena, and watching at home to know it. Because the confession is not a vulnerability. The confession is the next move. And if that does not make every hair on your body stand up straight, you are not fully processing what just happened on Raw. Before we break down every layer of this, and there are layers within layers here that are going to reframe this entire Raw 2026 narrative in ways you are not prepared for, subscribe to Ring Rumble 1 right now. Hit that subscribe button and demolish that notification bell for all notifications because this is not the kind of content you stumble onto twice by accident. This channel delivers the real breakdown, the real analysis, the conversations that go deeper than any highlight package or news recap ever will. If you want to actually understand what is happening in WWE rather than just watching it happen, this is where you need to be. Subscribe, bell, all notifications. Lock in right now and let's tear this entire thing apart. Let's start with Zilla Fatu, because before we can fully appreciate the magnitude of Roman Reigns choosing him specifically, we need to establish exactly who and what Zilla Fatu represents, and why that choice was not random, not convenient, and not simple. Zilla Fatu carries a name that means something in the world of professional wrestling. The Fatu family bloodline runs through WWE history with a depth and significance that very few families can match. Rikishi, the Usos, Samu, Umaga, a dynasty of physical dominance, of cultural pride, of a specific Samoan warrior identity that has been both celebrated and weaponized inside WWE for decades. Zilla Fatu is the next expression of that lineage, younger, hungrier, more volatile, carrying all of the family's physical gifts combined with the chip on the shoulder that comes from having an enormous legacy to either honor or escape. Roman Reigns understood all of that. Roman Reigns, who himself carries that same bloodline, who built his entire tribal chief persona on the foundation of Samoan family hierarchy and the power dynamics within it, looked at Zilla Fatu and saw something specific. Something usable. Something that, in the right hands, directed toward the right objective, could be devastatingly effective. He saw a weapon that already believed it was a warrior. And there is nothing more dangerous than a weapon with its own sense of purpose. Now let's talk about the confession itself, because the how of Roman Reigns revealing this truth matters just as much as the truth itself. Roman Reigns did not get caught. That point cannot be emphasized enough and it cannot be moved past too quickly. This was not an unmasking forced by someone else's detective work. Results without the exposure. They want to pull strings and never be seen holding them. Roman Reigns pulled every string. And then walked to the center of the stage and held them up for everyone to see. That is not the behavior of someone who is managing a situation. That is the behavior of someone who owns a situation so completely that transparency becomes another form of power. Roman Reigns confessed because the confession itself is a weapon. Because saying I did this, I planned this, I sent him, I controlled all of it, that communicates something to every person listening that no amount of shadowy manipulation ever could. It communicates that he is untouchable. That the rules that govern everyone else simply do not apply to him. That he can operate with complete visibility and still be beyond reach. Let's talk about what Roman Reigns actually gains from this confession, because nothing the tribal chief does is without strategic purpose and the surface level reading of this moment dramatically undersells its complexity. Gain number 1, fear. Real, genuine, spreading fear throughout the Raw locker room. Not the performative fear of a scripted promo. The actual psychological discomfort that comes from realizing that the most calculating mind in WWE history has been operating an active, ongoing campaign right under everyone's noses and nobody caught it until he decided to reveal it himself. That fear does not stay contained to the people directly involved. It infects. It spreads. It makes every superstar in that building ask the same paralyzing question: what else is Roman running that I do not know about yet? Gain number 2, Zilla Fatu's public legitimization. By confessing publicly that he chose Zilla Fatu specifically, Roman Reigns does something for that young superstar that months of victories could not accomplish as efficiently. He stamps him. He endorses him with the full weight of the most dominant personal brand in modern WWE history. Roman Reigns saying, "I picked you, I trusted you with this, I sent you to do what needed to be done," that is not just a confession. That is a coronation. Zilla Fatu went from mystery man to chosen instrument of the tribal chief in a single public declaration. The roster will never look at him the same way again. Gain number 3, narrative control. By getting ahead of the reveal on his own terms, Roman Reigns ensures that the story of what happened is told his way. There is no version of events that someone else uncovered and exposed. There is no moment where Roman looks reactive or defensive or caught. The entire narrative of this situation, from beginning to confession, belongs to him. And in WWE, where perception is currency, owning the narrative is owning the power. Now let's address the people most directly affected by this confession, because their responses in the coming weeks will define the next chapter of Raw 2026 more than anything Roman Reigns himself does next. The superstars who were targeted by Zilla Fatu's attacks now know the full truth. And knowledge, in this case, is a complicated gift. Because knowing that Roman Reigns was behind everything does not automatically translate into the ability to do anything about it. Roman Reigns is not a man you simply confront and demand accountability from. Anger and asking themselves a question that Roman Reigns should be paying very close attention to. Not how do I get back at Zilla Fatu, but how do I get to Roman Reigns? Let's also spend a moment on Zilla Fatu's position following the confession, because his situation is more complex than it appears on the surface. He is elevated. That is undeniable. Roman's public endorsement carries enormous weight and Zilla Fatu would be professionally foolish not to recognize the doors that endorsement opens. But elevation through association with Roman Reigns has a specific historical track record that every member of the current roster should have memorized by now. People who enter Roman's orbit as assets have a pattern of eventually discovering that the relationship has conditions. That the loyalty runs in one direction. That the moment the tribal chief's calculus changes, the asset becomes expendable with the same calm efficiency that originally made them valuable. Zilla Fatu is young. He is talented. He is now positioned more prominently than he has ever been. But he is also, whether he fully understands it yet or not, standing in a place that has historically been very comfortable right up until the moment it becomes very dangerous. Roman Reigns confessing that he sent Zilla Fatu is not the climax of this story. It is the most dangerous part of the setup. The board is visible now. The players are identified. The tribal chief has shown his hand with the serene confidence of someone who believes his hand cannot be beaten. History suggests he might be right. But history also suggests that the most spectacular falls always begin with exactly this kind of confidence. Raw 2026 just entered its most volatile chapter yet. And Roman Reigns lit the match himself. Drop your reactions in the comments right now. Are you with Roman Reigns on this, or is this the move that finally costs him everything? And do you think Zilla Fatu will stay loyal when things get complicated? Share this video immediately. Tag every wrestling fan you know. Because Ring Rumble 1 just delivered the breakdown that changes how you watch Raw going forward.